Our planet hides secrets deep within, and humanity's curiosity has always driven us to uncover them. We've drilled, bored, and excavated across the globe, chasing knowledge and resources. But when ambition outpaces understanding, disaster often follows. Today, we'll revisit some of the most ambitious and catastrophic drilling attempts in history. These stories are more than engineering failures. They're lessons about our relationship with the Earth. They force us to question the price of progress and the limits of our control. Join me as we explore what happens when our reach exceeds our grasp. In the remote and windswept Kola Peninsula, far above the Arctic Circle, a team of Soviet scientists set out on a mission unlike any before. Their goal wasn't to find oil or gas, but to push the boundaries of human knowledge and see just how deep we could go into the Earth's crust. The Kola Super Deep Borehole project began in 1970, at the height of the Cold War, as a scientific quest to reach the Earth's mantle, a place no one had ever seen. For more than 2 decades, engineers and geologists pushed technology to its absolute limits, boring through ancient, unyielding granite and inventing new techniques as they went. The deeper they drilled, the more the Earth revealed its secrets. Rocks were unexpectedly porous, and water, trapped for billions of years, was squeezed from the very minerals themselves, defying what scientists thought possible. At depths beyond 6 kilometers, they discovered microscopic plankton fossils embedded in 2-billion-year-old rock, offering evidence of life on Earth far older and more resilient than anyone had imagined. But the greatest challenge was the intense heat. At 12 kilometers, temperatures soared to 180 degrees, nearly double what scientists had predicted, and far beyond what their equipment was designed to withstand. The rock itself began to soften, behaving more like plastic than stone. Drilling equipment warped and failed, and progress slowed to a painstaking crawl. The drill string twisted and groaned under immense stress, always on the verge of catastrophic failure, as the team struggled to keep the project alive. In 1992, after reaching a record-breaking depth of 12,262 meters, the project was finally halted. The relentless heat and pressure proved too much for any available technology of the time. Today, the site stands abandoned. A heavy welded metal cap marks the deepest artificial point ever made by humans, a silent witness to decades of effort. The Kola borehole never reached the mantle, but it revolutionized our understanding of the Earth's crust, revealing a hidden world of ancient life and unexpected geology deep below our feet. It stands as a monument to human curiosity, determination, and the relentless drive to explore, and as a humbling reminder of nature's overwhelming power. Even with the resources of a superpower, some forces of nature remain unconquerable, reminding us of our place in the world. The project's true legacy is not failure, but the realization that the world beneath our feet is far more complex, dynamic, and mysterious than we ever imagined. The Kola borehole remains a silent testament to the limits of our reach, and a call to respect the immense scale and mystery of the planet we call home. In 2010, the Deepwater Horizon rig in the Gulf of Mexico became the site of one of history's worst environmental disasters. This catastrophe would leave an indelible mark on the environment, economy, and countless lives. This ultra-deepwater rig drilled a mile below the surface, tapping into a high-pressure reservoir. The depths and pressures involved were unprecedented, pushing the limits of technology and human capability. Containing such forces required flawless safety systems, especially the blowout preventer, designed to seal the well in emergencies. This critical piece of equipment was the last line of defense against a blowout. On April 20th, a surge of methane shot up the drill column, ignited, and turned the rig into a fireball. The explosion was catastrophic, and the rig was quickly engulfed in flames. 11 crew members died, and the rig sank, leaving the wellhead gushing oil into the ocean. The blowout preventer failed, unable to contain the immense pressure. For 87 days, millions watched as oil spewed unchecked from the seafloor. The world was captivated and horrified by the live footage of the relentless spill. Nearly 5 million barrels of crude contaminated the Gulf, creating vast underwater plumes and toxic dead zones. The scale of the pollution was unprecedented. Chemical dispersants used to break up the oil caused further harm, poisoning marine life, and sinking oil to the seabed. These chemicals added another layer of toxicity to the already dire situation. The ecological toll was devastating, seabirds coated in oil, dolphins and turtles dying, marshes suffocated and fisheries destroyed. The impact on wildlife was heartbreaking and extensive. The economic impact was immediate. Fishing and tourism collapsed, leaving communities that depended on these industries in financial ruin, and thousands lost their livelihoods. The human cost of the disaster was felt deeply across the Gulf Coast. After months of failed attempts, the well was finally capped, but the damage was done. The long-term effects on the environment and local economies were already set in motion. The oil entered the food web, and deep-sea coral communities were decimated. The spill's impact reached far beyond the surface, affecting the entire marine ecosystem. Deepwater Horizon exposed the immense risks of ultra-deep drilling and the inadequacy of safety technology. The disaster highlighted the need for better regulations and more robust safety measures. It was a failure of equipment, oversight, and regulation. A brutal reminder that our thirst for fossil fuels drives us into ever more dangerous territory. The pursuit of energy resources comes with significant risks. The disaster's legacy is a stark warning. The consequences of failure in these environments are not just financial, but planetary. The Deepwater Horizon spill serves as a sobering lesson for future generations. In Seattle, the Alaskan Way Viaduct Replacement Tunnel was to be bored by Bertha, the world's largest tunnel boring machine. Bertha, a 5-story tall engineering marvel, began its journey beneath the city in 2013. For the first 1,000 feet, all went well. Then suddenly Bertha ground to a halt, 60 feet underground. Engineers were baffled. Investigations revealed Bertha's main bearing was damaged, contaminated by abrasive soil after striking a forgotten steel pipe. The only solution: dig a massive rescue pit in front of the machine, a major construction project in itself. For over a year, the focus shifted from tunneling to rescuing Bertha. The damaged cutting head was hoisted out, repaired, and lowered back into place. Bertha resumed tunneling, eventually completing the 2-mile journey in 2017, despite further challenges. The incident highlighted the unpredictability of urban underground construction. A single overlooked pipe crippled an $80 million machine, causing monumental delays and costs. Bertha's story is a lesson in the importance of thorough site investigation and the hidden complexities beneath our cities. Even the most advanced technology can be brought to a standstill by the smallest oversight. In 2006, near Sidoarjo, Indonesia, a mud volcano erupted, triggered many believe by a gas exploration well. Drillers may have failed to install protective casing before hitting a high-pressure zone, allowing water and gas to escape and fracture the rock. The result: a torrent of hot, toxic mud spewed from the earth, swallowing villages and farmland. At its peak, 180,000 cubic meters of mud erupted daily, transforming the landscape into a steaming wasteland. Desperate attempts to contain the flow with dikes and levees failed. The mud overwhelmed every barrier. Over a dozen villages were buried, displacing 60,000 people and destroying livelihoods. The mud, laden with contaminants, polluted rivers and coastal waters, devastating fisheries and turning 7 square kilometers into a permanent sacrifice zone. Years later, the mud volcano still erupts, a man-made disaster with no end in sight. The cause remains debated, but for the victims, the result is the same: a slow-motion catastrophe. Sidoarjo is a stark warning of what can happen when drilling collides with unstable geology. A single mistake can trigger a chain reaction that alters the surface of the planet itself. In 1984, the quiet community of San Juanico, located just outside Mexico City, became the site of one of the deadliest industrial disasters the world has ever seen. A ruptured pipeline at a massive LPG storage facility released a huge, invisible cloud of highly flammable gas into the heart of a densely populated neighborhood, catching residents completely off guard. The gas, heavier than air, crept along the ground and pooled silently in low-lying areas, seeping into homes and streets, until a single spark ignited it just before dawn. The resulting explosion was catastrophic, creating a fireball that lit up the early morning sky and shattered windows for miles around, waking thousands in terror. But the horror didn't end there. The intense heat triggered a bleave, a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion, causing a storage tank to violently rupture and setting off a chain reaction of 11 massive blasts. Fireballs and shockwaves tore through the facility and surrounding homes, hurling debris, igniting fires, and leaving devastation in every direction. Hundreds of people died instantly, many more were incinerated or fatally burned as they desperately tried to escape the inferno, with families separated in the chaos. Emergency services struggled to reach the raging fires, hampered by blocked roads, intense heat, and the sheer scale of destruction. By sunrise, the once thriving neighborhood was reduced to a scorched ruin, with entire blocks leveled and countless lives changed forever. Official death tolls ranged from 500 to 600, but with so many missing and unaccounted for, the true number of victims was likely far higher. The San Juanico disaster remains a brutal lesson in the dangers of storing volatile fuels so close to where people live and work. It exposed catastrophic failures in safety protocols, maintenance standards, and emergency response planning, highlighting the need for strict regulations and oversight. The disaster stands as a stark warning. When energy is mishandled, the resulting destruction can rival the devastation of war, leaving scars that last for generations. From the Kola borehole to San Juanico, these stories are more than engineering failures, they're warnings etched into our planet's memory. They reveal the unpredictable power of the Earth and the catastrophic price of underestimating it. Small oversights, a forgotten pipe, a faulty valve, can trigger disasters that reshape landscapes and lives. The pursuit of knowledge and resources demands humility, robust safety, and respect for the systems we disrupt. As we continue to drill, tunnel, and extract, we must carry these lessons with us. The future depends on learning from these tragedies, championing not just innovation, but safety and sustainability. Our challenge is to temper ambition with wisdom, ensuring our quest for progress does not leave new scars on our world. Only then can we hope for a more balanced coexistence with the powerful, fragile planet we call home.